Hello everyone, my name is Gravitysilence, and welcome to another video touring my single-player survival world. Today we are going to be looking at the first area, my first base that I started in this world. My spawn chunks. I have to make a short nether trip to get there. You'll also get a glimpse of the nether, which I may or may not do a very brief tour of that in a separate video. I just have to wait for the chunks to load for a second here. I died so many times building this stone bridge because it's over lava. I just have to take out this blaze. Or not. We'll just go fast. Oh no, there's one here. So here we go, original house, this way. I just follow the cobblestone. And I have a minecart track here. And this is the portal. I always get quite a bit of lag in the nether. It's because there's so many zombie pigmen and fire. The computer doesn't like to render all of that. So since I'm already down here, I might as well give a tour of this little area here so that I don't have to come back down. So the idea of this room is that this was originally a regular portal with a frame, as you can see here, but after being cut, as you can see by this, the nether wart blocks, kind of looks like a cut in the netherrack. In my little lore that I have for my Minecraft world, the netherrack is alive. I like to have these little bits of lore for every small thing. So that's one of them. So because it's been cut, no idea why it's been cut, but because it's been cut, you can see that it's protruding this tentacle out, and it's kind of going off in 3 directions, below one there. And it's wrapping itself around this little cave thing. So we've got one going up here. There's a lot of little nooks and crannies, a lot of details here and there. Like there's a little space down here that I think we can actually get to. Yeah. This goes down into my old mine. You can also see the bottom of the frame here. Can't see it from the top, but I did put it in so you can see it from down here. We have a few small areas up and down that the cave branches off into. We've got an area down here blocked off. I have a chicken down here that I call my cave chicken, or at least I called. I don't live here anymore, so. And every egg I get from him, well, I mean, except that one just there, but every egg I get from this chicken, I throw away in lava, because I like to think that since he's in the cave, the toxic air of mine from like all the coal and all the different ores being mined, they've toxified him or her or whatever, this chicken. And so all the eggs that it lays are toxic, so I can't use them. I have to throw them away. I forgot to with that one, obviously, but yeah, that's a toxic chicken. I don't want to eat that chicken's eggs. Don't want to bake any cakes or any food with eggs. So I have a staircase down to bedrock. There's nothing down at the bedrock, just bedrock. But the staircase goes up a short hallway here to the right. Turns into wood. And then this part gets a little interesting because there's a couple of places we can go, but I'm going to go in this second ladder here instead of the trapdoor, which leads us into a little underground room with signs around. So as you can see, we just came out of the mine because we were down there. That was the mine. Up is my house, so I'll show you that in a second. We also have a cartographer exclosure, which I will show you right now. It's a small room here with a villager in it named Testificate, and it's a cartographer. Oh, well, the name change has made him not say cartographer here. It says Testificate, but he still does sell the ocean and woodland explorer maps. I used to have signs around the walls saying things like, "I'm not crazy," and make the voices stop and stuff, just kind of because he's locked in here, so he's like writing stuff on the wall. But it kind of, for some reason, I think I kind of went on a sign breaking purge because I was getting a lot of lag, so I had to take those down. I'll go through these doors later. Let's just go back to that room. There's one more door here. Artificial cave. Oh wait, no, there's this one too. We won't go through this one. You'll see where that one leads soon. Artificial cave. This one, short pathway over here. And like the sign says, we've got, let me get a better vantage point. We've got this fake little cave. This was originally just all filled in with stone, but I mined it all out. And I made it look like it's got coal around, and the trapdoor is hidden from this door. So if you stand here, you can kind of just see the whole room. There's stones and andesite, dirt, and you got hidden lighting under carpets. And yeah, coal and all that sort of stuff you find in caves. I was really proud of it at the time that I made it, but now I look back at it and it's it's kind of it's lame. That's how I'm gonna put it. There's just not really much to it. Really, it's just a few coal ore and stone. So now we're going to go up to where it said home, which is here. So up from the mine, we continue. We're in this room. Not sure what this is about, but I originally had a lot of plans for this room. This was going to be like, it was kind of going to be like a trophy room, a memorial, memoir room with like different items and in item frames along the wall, kind of like maybe like a prismarine shard for when I first find an ocean monument, or a totem of undying for when I find an woodland mansion. But I never got to that, and yeah, eventually I moved. I don't actually remember what's down this staircase. I think it's my auto smelter, or at least it used to be, but I think I took it down. Yeah, I had a giant redstone auto smelter here. It was pretty small, but it did the job, and I was quite proud of that too. It was one of my first proper redstone builds in this world. What's over here? Oh, so this is a red sand maker. So if you stack up a bunch of sand in front of this piston, just pile it up to the ceiling there, and press this button. Oh, that block was in the way, but what? Oh, okay. Oh, now we're stuck. Okay. So, if you put a bunch of sand on that side and press this button, there's a glitch that this piston pushing the red sand into the normal sand, because they're both entities in the same block, for some reason it turns that sand into a red sand and then drops it down and turns it into an item and puts it in the chest. So if I need a lot of red sand and I only have regular sand, I can just turn it all into red sand with this machine. I only needed it once or twice, but it was still pretty useful for those couple of projects. Let's rebuild this quick. There we go. And I think that's the last thing in the staircase. I don't really remember this staircase much. Oh yeah, this. So this was originally going to be a massive project. You can see that this hallway goes outside of my render distance, and I'm at like 14 chunks. And I have to go quite a ways before the end of the tunnel loads in. So this was originally going to have, as you can see, there's these 2 blocks mined out every once in a while. So these were going to be rooms all down the hallway, and my plans were some of them were going to be dedicated to certain holidays. Like one was going to be Halloween, it was going to be filled with pumpkins and houses to be like for trick-or-treating, and then Christmas would be like a bunch of presents and a tree and maybe a sleigh, and Easter we'd have a bunch of eggs and the Easter bunny. And it was going to be each holiday I would build it, or at least the week or two leading up to the holiday, I would build that holiday themed room. And then at the end of 1 year, I'd have all these holiday rooms that I could go back to and visit on the holidays again. And then, because this hallway is so long, I would have some extra space for more rooms, because there's not that many. Oh, you can see here, Halloween room. I kind of started on it. This was the first room I was going to do. But yeah, I just got the floor. So I was going to have, this was going to be like a haunted forest, and then at the end was a giant house. And you kind of rang the doorbell on the house, and it would dispense candy. I think it was cocoa beans I used for candy. I've got a bunch of building materials, which I will actually take these. No, I don't need cobblestone. I'll take the blocks I do need. I'll take some bricks, some coarse dirt maybe, and fill the rest with cobblestone. Oh, hold on. Yeah. There's nothing in the furnaces and nothing under the crafting table. So this was going to be a massive project that spanned an entire year, but it just went nowhere. I never even finished the first room. It could have been amazing, but yeah, it just never got to it. And here's the end. I guess a bunch of gravel was here. Yeah, you can see. So that's why the ceiling's a bit hollow there. And I spent so long mining out this tunnel. It isn't actually that long looking back. My mine on a multiplayer server I play on is already like 4 times as long as this, and I haven't had that mine that long. But this is 6 blocks. It's 2 by 3, so it's more than just 1 by 2. It's a lot more blocks. So that's this staircase. So we got all those holiday rooms that never happened, the sand converter, the auto smelter that I took down because I needed the furnaces. Okay. We just came from there. So through this painting, see, we got painting there and there. We got let's start in my bedroom. So this is the top floor of my house. I have 2 beds here. It's supposed to just be like a king size or queen size bed. You can only sleep in one side though. It's kind of lame. I got some cakes decorating. I got a jukebox, which I eventually moved the music discs to my new area that I'm living in. Cake, flower pot. Oops. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. And every time I stopped playing Minecraft for the day when I was living in this area, I would come back up the ladder and stand on the bed and just kind of look in this direction, and then I'd log off. And then so it'd be pretty cool to just, it was like a ritual, sort of a routine, that at the beginning of every day I'd start here and I'd go down and I'd go about my business, and then at the end of the day I'd come back up here and stand here, and it was nice having a routine. I had glowstone in the ceiling, lighting up the room. I used light gray glass instead of just regular glass, and I think it looks nice having that. Kind of looks dirty in a way, but also sort of natural, because glass isn't as clear as it is in Minecraft in real life. So which direction do I want to go here? Oh, yeah, lag spike. I think there's a bunch of mobs over there. So I'm going to go this way. So this is basically the view I used to see every time I started a day. You pick out a few things, like that rainbow stands out back there. We got the TARDIS over there. That one's pretty obvious. We've got a McDonald's, a few mob heads, a giant chest. And really, this world is littered with, or at least this area is littered with buildings and massive things in the distance. And I'm actually not sure if I'm going to be able to show all of it in just this one video. So this might actually need to be, I might need to have a part 3 of a world tour, and then maybe a part 4 for the Nether. Okay, so over here in this little hillside, oh yeah, I never actually did anything with this hole. So this was going to be my snow golem and iron golem's home. They were going to have, like, I was going to make it look like a taiga biome. I don't know why, but I thought it'd be interesting to have it like a mini biome that they lived in and just roamed around. And because there's a ladder here, neither of them could get out. And I could just come visit them and check them out, and there's glass there so the rain won't kill the snow golem. And it could have been pretty cool, but I never did that. There's quite a few projects in this world, like that hallway down that staircase in my house, that I just never finished. I had great plans for, but I just never finished them. I gave up on them, or I ran out of time. I got bored of them, something like that. And over here, you can see a few more things. Tree farm. We'll go take a closer look sooner or later. I put glass here so you can see down to the ground here. A quick way down, instead of taking the ladder to the bottom floor and then going out the door, you can just jump down here into the water. But we're going to actually go down the ladder and out the door. So here we have, I was eventually going to have this bottom floor have like paintings and stuff all over the walls and like item frames with things, maybe a few things on the floor to just make it look like a messy house, like it was lived in. But for now, right now I just have a few things scattered around, like crafting table, anvil, which is pretty broken because this is the anvil I used for everything. This armor stand used to have actual armor on it, but it was enchanted diamond armor, and I died in lava with a full set, so I took it off of there. I have an ender chest, which has some shulker boxes in it. Backup box. I'm not going to go through my shulker box, but basically, yeah, I have nine shulker boxes and some basic things in them. Over here, we have the book with Curse of Vanishing. I thought this was the first book. When the update came out, there were books with curses. I wanted to get in on the action, so first book I got with Curse of Vanishing on it, I put in an item frame, and it's with these bookshelves. And we've already seen back here, that's just another entrance to the back room. Out this door, this is a view I saw quite a few times right here. The first thing we'll probably want to look at is the map wall here, get a good overlook of the entire thing. So I'm actually going to press F1 so you can get a look at that. The thing that stands out the most on the map is the Canadian flag. That's because, well, I live in Canada, obviously. So I wanted it to be like the big center point that kind of stood out and defined the whole area. But eventually I think the center point ended up being this pond here and just kind of this area between those buildings and my house. This kind of just like the little, you got flowers, you got sugar cane, you got bushes and all this. So it's quite a peaceful area. And actually you can see here that this is Creeper's Pond. And if I remember correctly, I think this is actually, well, it's not, but I like to think that this is the first creeper that blew up in this world, but it's not, but it is still a creeper explosion. So I decided, because it was so close to my house, I wouldn't fill it in like I usually do. Instead, I named it Creeper's Pond, and I filled it with water. And it's kind of, if you saw my last video of my newer area, you saw Skelly's Pond. That was kind of like a sequel or a callback to this one. This was the original pond in my world. And there's things kind of all over the place in this world, so it's going to be pretty hard to give a proper tour without missing things or going in a completely weird order. You can see there's another map, not that one, over here, that's a bit more zoomed out. You can't see as much detail. I don't really need this zoomed out one though, because there's nothing in the areas you couldn't see on that map. So I think a good idea would be to start over at the end here at McDonald's. So you can see I've got this build took a lot of wool. You can see absolutely every wall and sign and floor. I think the floor is made out of wool. No, it's terracotta. But most of this build is wool, so this took absolutely forever to build just because of the materials. Got a zombie over there, we're gonna kill him. But inside, you got the red and yellow McDonald's colors on the floor. You've got the menu, which is the meats over top of the counter with if you go back here, you got the register. And I had plans for this little space back here, but I didn't do anything with it. And then you have all the benches, the chairs, and tables around the outside. I tried to fit in as many tables and chairs as I could without making it look too cramped in here. So they kind of go chair, table, chair, table, chair, table, instead of chair, table, and then this chair facing into this table. Then that kind of just lets me have more tables. And it looks nice, it does. There's a back door that leads nowhere except a hill, which there's not really anything up here, just an empty space. So we'll go back through. I should probably sleep. I'm gonna get mobs attacking me from every direction. I keep getting lag whenever I hit a mob. Might have to look into that. That would probably get annoying after a while if I don't fix it. You know what, we're actually going to use that little quick jump down. What the heck? What? I know that's the sound of a zombie breaking down a door, but why did he... I was out here. What? Okay, I'm gonna show you this giant chest house, just so I can empty out my inventory, because this is, for obvious reasons, this is the storage house, and I'm kind of proud of it. Oh yeah, it's empty. Well, it used to be filled with chests, all the way like stacked, and it could hold so many items, but I did do a mass moving of all my things to my new storage room. So that's that one. This is my animal farm. I don't know what I was thinking when I made the design. I kind of just improvised, or didn't really plan anything. It's just snow border with glass. Doesn't really look that good, but the pixel art on the front tells you what it is, and you can see the animals inside. So we've got cows and sheep. I'm pretty proud of this room. I still am, even though it's super simple. It's literally just wool and terracotta, and it's not even that detailed. But in here, we have the squid. His name is Monstro. That's after the whale in Pinocchio. Just a reference there. Upstairs, we only have one chicken. I think I killed a bunch of them, but yeah, right now we only have one chicken. There's some pigs. I don't remember if there's anything up here. No, there's not. But this is a good place to get a view of stuff. I'll show you that in a second in that building. The pixel art here is a bit in the way, so if you really want to look out the front where everything is, you can't, but you can kind of get a view of whatever over there. Over here we have my slaughterhouse, which I kind of took a corner off of the cow pixel art here and put red to make it look like there was a chunk out of its face. And it was pretty gruesome, but it's supposed to represent the slaughterhouse, and you got this blood splatter coming out of the front. So inside it's pretty blank. I did move a bunch of stuff. There were like chests holding things, and there was actually like a hopper line that led somewhere. This is supposed to be a towel that you wipe your hands and weapon off of when you're finished slaughtering the animal. We've got some wheat for breeding the animals. I don't know why you would want to breed them in the slaughterhouse, but the axe. This originally had cows in it, and this was there's a button missing. But this was a cooked steak farm, super compact, just a little bit of redstone, not that complicated. I followed a design for it, but it didn't really work with my world for some reason. I guess either it was out of date or it was just the lag in my world, so I had to change a few things up, like change time delays and put an observer here because there wasn't in the old tutorial. But how it would work is, if I can get up here, you would press a button that dispensed this water, and that would make all the cows bob up and down, so you were able to, oops, not do that. So you were able to feed all of the wheat. I think that's why there's the wheat in the chest. So you could grab it from there and bring it up this ladder to feed them. They'd have babies that went in this area, and then once they grew up, those babies, there's a button here that makes this dispenser dispense lava, and that killed the adult cows, which dropped steak. Because they died to fire, there's still some leather in there. Not sure why that doesn't have cows in it. It really doesn't need to anyway, since I don't live here anymore anyways, so. If you haven't noticed, there's this path going around all the buildings, and I still love how this looks, just how it's kind of wild and going left to right, and there's this little kind of island in the middle here, and it goes around it, and I love how this looks. It's so... this was actually here. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, that was the zombie. So this was actually quite late, quite recent that I put the path in. Quite close to me moving to my new base. So it was just grass here for the longest time, but then I went around the area and I terraformed everything. So now it's got all like grass everywhere and leaves and bushes and such, and it looks a lot better than it did with the messed up terrain and just the buildings sticking out of the messy grass and whatever. Here, this is a very early building. I built this pretty early on. It was supposed to be a train station, and I was going to have a bunch of these around my world, but eventually I realized that it was actually faster to walk than... actually it's a subway because this goes underground, but I'll actually show you. Hold on a second. My inventory is full, so I might as well show off this thing here. Automatic trash dispenser, which, as you can see, it looks like a village well from the outside, but then you go up to it and you can see it's lava in the bottom, and you can get a quick glimpse of like some hoppers and dispensers. So you can guess that putting items in here, it dispenses them. Not very fast, and it's a lot faster to just grab the stack of items out of your inventory and throw them in the lava like that, but that's what I've got. And it looks nice, and the redstone's not too complicated. I'm actually going to toss all of this in here. I'll keep the coal and iron though, those could come in handy. Now back over here. So you can tell it's a pretty early building because it's very simple. It's a box and it's wool. I mean, a few of these are boxes here. You can see the animal farm and the chest, the storage room are, but it's small and it's not very detailed. You can see there's rails on logs on the outside. I don't know why there's the logs, but the rails are for it being a train station. You can see Central Station because I was going to have a bunch kind of in a circle around this. This is a map showing where it ends up. That's actually not up to date, so we will take that, put it in our offhand, and now we can have a minecart. You see there's a little sitting area here and a furnace in case you want to smelt some things while you wait. This is the minecarts. This this door is actually for a little, I don't know if it's a glitch, but you can kind of, if you close the door while you're jumping, you can jump into the door, and you kind of stand on the first, like as if you're on one block rather than halfway through a door, and then just jump the other way. And it's a bit hard to read, but it says secret message. Lighting glitch is making it dark, but you got a crafting table. It's pretty simple, but you'll see just how slow this track is when we go. You can hear the trash there. I was going to make this kind of a scenic pathway so that it would be worth the waste of time. So, you know, less time, but it looks better. So instead of just running over, you can actually see some pixel art or some terraforming or whatever to the side. And over here, quite far from our house, which is way off over there, and whoa, there's a weird sky texture there. Anyways, so this is the X that kind of marks out, just to show you on the map, that's where you're going to end up, where it said X marks the spot in the train station. This, oh, he's actually still here. This is Buttons, the snow golem, and I guess he's Buttons the first, because this was my first snow golem in this world. In my last video, I showed you my newer one. He's kind of got some stuff in here. It doesn't really make sense for Snow Golem to have a furnace because it would melt him, or a fridge because, I don't know. But he lives in an igloo for obvious reasons, him being a snowman. Quite simple, quite small. Just a little, I wanted to have a bunch of these simple, small buildings just scattered around. Oh no. Come on. I hate baby zombies, I'll tell you that much. Okay. This isn't happening. We're not dying on the tour. Excuse me, Buttons. Whoa. Yeah, so if you try to sleep in a bed that has a block above it, it does that, but it still lets you sleep, so that's okay. I'm just going to hide for a second so that skeleton doesn't kill me. And toss away some rotten flesh and various other objects I don't need. Okay, he just died. I'll take the arrows, though. And kill this witch. I don't want to spend this entire video just fighting mobs, but I also don't want to die, so I have to run all the way back here and get my items. Actually, I should have ran back to show you how much slower it is, but you get the idea. This is pretty slow. You know, minecarts move slower than sprinting speed, and also I'm going up and down, so that costs time, whereas it's a straight path if you're running. And there we go. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, it can't be in your offhand. So that's kind of the train station. I was going to build one of these over where that one ended, but I never did.